She said, well, what if you don't have a house or an apartment? And I said, darling, what's going on? And the tears started to form in her eyes. And she said that the Sunday night before class had started to launch her new career, her husband had been abusive because she had wanted to get a job. The audacity. And he had kicked her out with her 16-year-old son. And for the last 4 days, he'd been walking around the mall that was next to where we were doing the training while she was in class. And they'd been sleeping in the car in the parking lot. Of course, they were smart enough to leave the parking lot until I left and then come back. And this really touched me, that this woman who was homeless, who was a 16-year-old, was sitting in a class all day to launch a new career so she could solve a problem. And I went home that night and I couldn't. You ever just not been able to sleep because something's playing on your mind? And the next morning, I got up and I asked, and I told my wife of this particular woman's situation. And I said, I think we're supposed to let her stay in our house. You understand, I had just met this woman on Monday. And my wife looked at me like I was from Mars. You want to let this woman you don't know live in our house? And I said, I do. And she said, well, then let me meet okay. She said, I'd like to meet her. I said, well, that's probably good. I said, there's no hanky-panky. You know, she said, oh, no, I'm not worried about that. I just want to meet this woman. So that afternoon, she came by my office Friday afternoon. Now, what do you do in this situation? Because how do you offer somebody something like this, first of all, without making them feel terrible? Because that would stop some people. And so this is the way that God gave me to do it. And I'll just call her Ethel. It's not her name. But I said, Ethel, I'm so glad that you came by this afternoon and you've passed your test to launch your new career. And I said, but I'm wondering if you could help my wife and I out. And she said, well, what do you need? I said, well, we just bought a house, but we're not prepared to move into it, and we're a little nervous about it being empty for 6 weeks. So I'm wondering if you and your son wouldn't mind moving in and making sure nobody messes with the house. Would you be willing to do that for us? And of course, the tears started when she realized exactly what I was offering and what I was doing. And even especially in the manner in which I did it. And so she stayed there for 6 weeks in this brand new home that had never been occupied. And so to this day, my wife has still never moved into a home that hasn't been occupied. But she's okay with it. So why did we do that? Because we're just wonderful people? No. It's because years before, somebody had stepped up and given to us when we really needed it. So what we did was we turned around and gave, temporarily to be sure. Did that cost us anything? A leap of faith. Could she have stolen everything in the house? Only if she had a screwdriver, because there was nothing in the house. So we brought over a little refrigerator, and we turned the electricity on, and we brought over a couple air mattresses, and her and her son lived and slept on air mattresses for 6 weeks in our house. And I'm looking at your face right now, and you're shaking your head side to side, and it's amazing what happens when I tell this story, because people look at me and go, that's incredible. But my question to you is, why is that incredible? We had something we weren't even using that was sitting empty, and God brought to us someone that had a need. Why should we be hesitant to bring the two together? It's out of fear, isn't it? It's out of fear. By the way, I didn't tell you Ethel was black because it don't matter. Don't matter to me. And the only reason I told you that is because the neighbor next door, their name was Black. That was their last name. They were white, but their name was Black. So somebody in the neighborhood came up to me and said, "Hey, were you the guys that had the Black family in the house?" I said, "No, they live next door." I said, that Black family lives next door. And they were very confused. See, the point is, if you have something to give, and you all do, why are you not? Why would you hold back what this group has done for you from all those other people who need it? This is the Christmas season. If you're of a different faith, I respect that. But this is the Christmas season. This is a season when we are reminded of giving. Do you know more money is donated to charities in the month of December than any other 4 months of the year? I like to think it's not because of tax deductions. Not sure, but I like to think that's not the reason. I like to think it's because people's hearts are pricked and reminded of others in need. The food bank gets 80% of its food donations in the month of December, if you count Thanksgiving kind of in that mix. The last 6 weeks of the year, most of their food donations come in. And most of their donations come in to feed people that they feed all year long that no one ever thinks about. Why? Because people are simply reminded of the importance of giving at this time of year. So next time that you have this event on your calendar, what's the date in January? 12? What should you be doing on the 9th and the 10th and the 11th?
Giving.
You should be reaching out, shouldn't you? And giving a reminder to the people that have been here before and haven't come back. Or that came for a while and then suddenly, for reasons unknown, quit coming. Connect with each other. Because as the words were attributed to Jesus, it truly is better to give than receive. I pray that you will have a marvelous Christmas, a wonderful New Year, that your health will improve through the process of giving. And if it doesn't, then count whatever blessings you have every day. People ask me all the time how you're doing. And I say, I'm upright and mobile and still breathing. Because I have almost died 7 times. And every single day is a gift to me. I have seen my son turn blue twice in my arms. And my wife has been disabled and bedridden twice by the time she was 50. You see, when you've experienced life, it alters your perspective. My hope for you is that in some small way today, I have been able to do that. To plant a seed inside your heart that will take root and grow. And then through your generosity of giving, be shared with the rest of the world. God bless and Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you so much.